Hey guys, it's Dr. Ben Israel here of HallelujahLifestyle.com and 876herb.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at a plant that for many of you who are watching, you may be familiar with it. Um, this plant is a little difficult to identify, so I'm going to do my utmost best to try to find those distinguishing features that will help you to identify this plant in the wild. And it's pretty leafy, and there are a number of plants that looks like it, so I'm going to do my utmost best. But this is a plant where if you are from Jamaican parentage, or if you grew up here in Jamaica and you had problems with teething, and teething is basically that stage in an infant's life when they're just starting to produce their first set of teeth. Here in Jamaica, sometimes children would have a flare up or a breakout of ulcers on the skin, or what we call sores. And grandma would normally say, go to the bush or go to the backyard and find me some Majoe Bitters. And the typically Jamaicans are known for giving plants or giving things alternative names. So a lot of persons may actually know this plant not as Majoe Bitters, but as Majoe Bitters. And I'm going to explain to you, I'll give you a little history about the name, the plant got its name, Majoe Bitters. But let me just show you, because as I said, there are some other plants that looks like it. There is, for example, this plant that is growing pretty close to it. Pretty close to it. All right. This plant here, if you look on it, it has leaves that are similarly shaped, that are shaped similar to it, and it also produces berries that look almost identical to those found on the Majoe Bitter plant. So let me try to share with you those distinguishing features, and there are not many. All right, one of them is, let's start with the leaves. The leaves range from light green to dark green. All right, and the leaves basically are slightly oval. All right, slightly oval. One of the most distinguishing characteristics that I use to identify Majoe Bitters is the stems that the berries grow on. So right now, these stems, this plant is at a time when there are no berries. So the stem, it always has these empty stems, or if it is not empty, it has berries on it, or if it doesn't have berries, then it is going to have these blossoms. So right now, this plant is in its blossoming state, and there are lots of blossom. There are lots of blossom on the plant. So for those stems that don't have blossom, then what you're going to find is that the stems are empty. If not, then it will have berries on it. So that's one of the most distinguishing marks of Majoe Bitters. The tree grows in a cluster. So let me give you a, all right, so the tree grows in that cluster and provides a lot of privacy. For that reason, Majoe Bitter grows a lot along fence lines. So it is used along fence line to provide privacy. And right here where I'm doing this video, in St. James, trying to remember the name of this district, it will come to me, or I will place it at the bottom of the video. But this is actually an area that a lot of my family members grew up in. All right, so Majoe Bitters is a powerful purgative. All parts of the plant can be used. The leaves can be used. The bark can be used. The stems can be used. As a matter of fact, just after finishing this video, I'm going to harvest some for another batch of our blood cleanse formula. All right, so it is a powerful tonic. It is antispasmodic. It is emetic. It is a purgative, and it's a diaphoretic, which means that it induces sweating. And it is a herb that also is a natural repellent. Because of its bitter nature, it's a very excellent natural repellent. Majoe Bitter has a number of other names. It's known as Picramnia, Antidesma, That's another common name. It's called cascara or mago, and herbs from the cascara family are very powerful in aiding the digestional tract. It's called simaruba. It's called Honduras bark. It's known as mountain damson, and basically it is a very powerful cleanser. Now, Majoe Bitter actually got its name from a slave lady. So there was a slave lady in Jamaica who basically used this plant. It was noticed because a lot of the slaves here in Jamaica are from West Africa, and coming from West Africa, they have their history of using herbs, traditional medicine as their means of healing. And so these persons came with their historical and experience of using these herbs. It is used as an excellent medicine for curing fevers, for dealing with colics, for dealing with skin ulcers, as I said. And then this is from experience. It's used for syphilis. It's used for diarrhea. It's used for indigestion. It's used for things with dysentery. And as I said, it's very bitter. It's one of those herbs that if you drink it, you will remember it. I remember my grandmother recommending this herb for us because of measles. You can use it to give a bath. You can brew it, make a decoction from it, and you can use it to bathe any form of wound or any form of open sore that a person may have. Now, it got its name, Majoe Bitter, from a slave that basically was known to use it as a powerful herb for healing syphilis and a number of other sexually transmitted diseases. So that is how this herb got its name, Majoe Bitter. Very powerful herb, and I'm going to be taking some of the Majoe Bitter and I'm going to be harvesting some of it to bring back. So I'm just going to go ahead and break it. It's very brittle. You don't have to have a knife to harvest it. So I'm just going to break some, and I'm going to dry it out. Very brittle, very easy to break, and it dries also very easily. And I'm going to take this back home, and I'm going to dry it out, and I'm going to add this to our rice bitters, to our jackass bitters. So for persons who have syphilis, for persons who have any type of sexually transmitted disease, for persons who have HIV, and for persons who have a number of immune deficiency or any health condition that would compromise their immune system, and especially for HIV, for persons with HIV that want to, or syphilis, or for persons with what's that one? For persons who want to keep their viral load down. A lot of persons reach out to us for STDs. This is one of the major ingredients in our blood cell cleanse. Majoe Bitters. Major ingredients in our blood cell cleanse. Sometimes you're doing these videos and it's so difficult to remember the names of, these infections and these diseases. But as I said, Majoe Bitter, very powerful herb. It has been used for centuries. I've experienced it. But what I can tell you guys is that this herb is really bitter. Alright, so until next time, this is Dr. Ben Israel saying that your health is your responsibility. And the greatest weapon against sickness and disease is education, not medication. Bye-bye.